Hello and welcome to Orange County, California. Knight Uretsky joined alongside Ryan Milano here as the Conejo Oaks, they face off against the Orange County Riptide. The Conejo Oaks, they're coming off a non-league win yesterday against the Ventura County Pirates. Looking to avenge that loss from Friday against the Riptide, and we're about to get squared away. Grant Smith, Brendan Bobo, Zach Gregory, Anson Arrows, TJ Foreman, Robert Capozzi, Greg Melhoff, Raul Sandoval, and JT Naviak, the lineup today for the Oaks. Starting for the OC Riptide, that is number 29, Michael Ashley, as we're about to get set for the first pitch here in your Irvine. The first pitch to Grant Smith, that one's taken. It's called for a strike. 0-1 the count. Grant Smith today, he comes into the game batting on the season. He is batting .302 with an on-base percentage of .439. It's one of the top on the team, only behind Anson Arrows for players with at least 30 at-bats. 0-1 the count. The pitch from Ashley. Off speed inside, brushes back Smith. The count even 1-1.
Yeah, and you talk about players with at least 30 at-bats. Grant Smith, a lot more than that. He's second on the team. He has 98 at-bats. This is 99th. So he's not going to be the first person to reach that century mark, but he's pretty darn close.
The 1-1 pitch. Smith takes it. It's called for a strike. Smith now behind 1-2. Grant Smith didn't see any action yesterday against the Pirates. He was almost going to come in and pinch hit for Cody Sulak. Unfortunately, Greg Melhoff, he grounded into a double play. Grant Smith was left on deck, and he did not play yesterday in the non-league matchup. The 1-2, that one got Smith inside. He's hit by a pitch, and he's off to first, and the leadoff man's aboard for the Oaks.
And right there, Grant Smith, he's just done an incredible job all season, and especially as of late, getting on base any way possible. Right there, he's hit by a pitch, and that is his fourth hit by pitch on the season.
So now Brendan Bobo, he's going to step up to the plate with a runner on first. Still nobody out. Bobo playing first base today. He's going to be in the two-hole spot. Going back to Grant Smith, he's back in that leadoff spot today and at second base playing. Pitch is inside to Bobo, 1-0 the count. Bobo this season, he's batting .292. Started the year insanely hot, and of course, we've all talked about it all season. He's cooled down. Still having a good season with the Oaks, batting .292, though. Has turned into a big contact hitter as of late, as now Ashley fires back towards first. In there safely is Grant Smith. Still awaiting the 1-0 is Brendan Bobo.
And you're selling him a little short, because he did cool off at one point in the season, but he's had hits in every single game except for one in his last 8 outings.
Pitch misses, so the count's 2-0.
Or excuse me, his last 7 outings. He's had, across those 7 outings, 8 total hits.
So, Smith leads off from first. Bobo at the plate. The pitch. Pitch misses away. 3-0 the count. So 8 hits in the last 8
8 hits in the last 7 outings for Brendan Bobo. He's also been able to get on base in those outings as well. He's walked a few times. He's been hit by a few pitches. He's just gone on any way possible.
There you go. Still under 300 after starting above 300 for a majority of the season. Pitches in there for a strike on the 3-0 count. So 3-0 taking for Brendan Bobo. 3-1 the count now from Ashley.
And he's been a lot more patient. We saw it even yesterday where he was seeing counts deep. Yesterday he wasn't able to get on with a walk, but he was just seeing counts incredibly deep, and he wasn't first pitch swing like we've seen a lot from him this season.
Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. So the count is now full to Brendan Bobo. 3-2 the count. Yesterday, Bobo, he struck out 2 times, 1 time looking and 1 time swinging. Did have a single, which he came around to score in the 4th. He was one of the 3 runs that came in that 4th inning, and that's really was the difference for the Oaks. Pitch misses high, and Smith headed to second already. He was stealing, but the steal doesn't matter as Bobo walks, and the first 2 men are aboard for the Oaks.
Yeah, and it's been a real difference for Brendan Bobo. We saw him start the season as an insanely hot power hitter, and then towards the middle of the first half of the year, he cooled off, and it was a struggle for him to even get on base at any points. And now we see him in the second half, or in the part right before the showcase game and now to start off the second half of the season. He has done a great job of just finding his way on base. It's a new approach at the plate, and he's been working very successfully at it, and it's the reason he gets on here.
First pitch to Zach Gregory misses away. 1-0 the count. Grant Smith, he's at second. Brendan Bobo, he's at first after a hit by pitch to Smith and a walk to Bobo. 1-0 the count to Gregory, and now Blake Penso, the catcher, he's going to go talk things over with Ashley as well as the manager for the Riptide. So already the first two batters, they've seen 10 pitches, and then Gregory, he's seen one that missed. And so far, only 4 of those 11 pitches have been called for strikes. What have you seen so far for Ashley?
I've seen him do exactly what he's been doing all season. He's been struggling with the strike zone all year long. He's had 9 total innings pitched on the season, has 17 walks. That is almost 2 walks per inning. He hit Grant Smith with that pitch in the first at-bat, then walked Brendan Bobo. It's been the Achilles heel for McCall Ashley all season, and it continues to be the Achilles heel for him here. He is up and down in his starts in terms of how many runs he gives up, but when he isn't locating the strike zone, he continues to give up a lot of runs. He gave up 5 earned runs in just 1 inning pitched in one of his starts, and then 4 in 2 innings pitched in another one. So it's been a up and down type of start for him.
Second pitch to Gregory, misses high and away, 2-0 the count. And you mentioned the up and down in runs total. The 2 games that he did not give up a run, that was to the Ventura Pirates and the Gold Panners, so both non-league games. So in the games that he's pitched in the CCL, he hasn't been great with a 27 ERA. And right now he has a little bit of trouble, 2-0 the count. The pitch to Gregory in there for a strike, 2-1 now to Zach Gregory.
Yeah, so in conference play, he has a 27 flat ERA. And then overall, as throughout the entire season, he has a 9.0 ERA. So those non-league games have helped his ERA total. But if you look at him in CCL play, he's towards the bottom of the standings on the Riptide depth chart.
The 2-1 pitch to Gregory, that one misses away. So now 3-1 the count to Gregory with 2 runners on still. Gregory this season, he's batting 184. But his on-base percentage just under 500 at 473. So one of the better players on the Oaks, getting aboard any way he can. Has 17 walks and 8 hit by pitches on the year. Those 8 hit by pitches leads the team. Now Gregory grounds one to the right side. Diaz fields it, flips it to Cervantes. The throw over to first, only going to get 1 at second. So Zach Gregory grounds into a fielder's choice. Grant Smith over to third, Bobo out at second. 1 away with runners on the corners.
Yeah, and right there, an at-bat for Zach Gregory that looked like it could have been disastrous, a routine double play. But Gregory beats it down the line, shows off his speed, is able to earn an extra out for his team. A runner on third and first with 1 out is a lot better than a runner just on third with 2 outs, and that is because Ansoneros can now put the ball, deep fly ball into the outfield. It's probably going to score Grant Smith.
So Ansoneros, he steps up to the plate. Runners on the corners, just 1 out. First pitch to Arrows. That one's called for a strike. 0-1 the count, so 15 pitches in and still only 1 out for Ashley. Arrows this season, he's leading the team in batting average with players with at least 30 at-bats. He has a batting average of 375 with an on-base percentage of 538. As the second pitch to Arrows is thrown in, it's taken low for a ball. The count even 1-1.
And it's surprising to me how little at-bats Ansoneros has had on the year. We know him as the showcase man. We know him as the one who has been one of the better catchers on the plate, one of the better batters when he comes to the box. But he's only had 39 at-bats or plate appearances on the entire season.
The 1-1's fouled away by Arrows. The count now 1-2. And that low batting or plate appearances, that does not surprise me at all. When you have so many catchers like the Oaks do, you're always rotating them. And, of course, Arrows, he's not going to play every day like Grant Smith. So if he's only playing a third of the time, it makes sense why he only has about a third of the at-bats.
The Oaks, they only have 3 of those real everyday type of player where you know that they're in the lineup every single time. Maybe 4 if you want to include Zach Gregory because he is so versatile in both left field and second base.
And Arrows, he's going to go down looking, looks at the 4th pitch to him. It's called for a strike. Second time he took a pitch that was called for a strike, and he goes down on the 4th pitch he saw. 2 away now.
Outside of that, the players who play every day, it's Grant Smith, Brendan Bobo, and TJ Foreman, with inclusions of Naviak and Gregory if you want to include the league games, where some of them take non-league games off, and at least in terms of pure plate appearances.
I'd also say Melhoff. He's Played in pretty much every game he's been here since coming to the Oaks. Pitch misses away to TJ Foreman. The count now 1-0.
And we're starting to see now here in the second half of the season, the playoff push is starting for the Oaks. It's going to be a lot more of consistent lineups where there probably won't be as many of the players who usually start on the bench starting in the starting lineup in league games.
Throw back to first in there safely is Gregory. Still awaiting the 1-0 is TJ Foreman.
And those players will get their opportunities when the spots fit them. But it's going to be a lot of the everyday players for the Oaks coming down the pipeline throughout the remainder of the season as there's just over 2 weeks left in the year.
The 1-0 to Foreman, that one misses away, so 2-0 the count to TJ Foreman. Foreman this season, he's batting .281 with an on-base percentage of .423. He scored 18 runs on the year, which is among the league leaders in the Oaks team. It's actually tied for first on the Oaks with Grant Smith. Pitch inside to Foreman, and 3-0 the count now with 2 away and runners on the corners. Foreman, he's been up and down in the lineup. We've seen him as high as number 1 in the order as well as low as number 7 or 8. Today he's batting in the 5th spot. Also have seen him in the 4th spot in the cleanup spot. But a 3-0 count to him. The pitch, that one's called for a strike. Foreman took a step towards first base. Now he'll have to be back into the box, and 3-1 the count.
And it is a very hot day here in Orange County, so right now some of the equipment overheating despite it being in the shade. We'll do our best to make sure that that will cease.
Foreman lines one towards right field. Freeman coming in. He catches it, and the inning is over. So that'll do it for the top of the first inning. 2 runners are left stranded after a hit by pitch, a fielder's choice, and a walk. We head to the bottom of the first inning, still tied here in Orange County. Stay cool. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you. Bottom of the first inning, still tied 0-0 after the Conejo Oaks. They left 2 runners stranded, 1 on third and 1 on first in the top of the first. Cody Adcock, the man on the mound for the Conejo Oaks. As the first pitch from Adcock thrown in, it's called for a strike to Spencer Servin. The Conejo Oaks today, they're wearing their warm-up practice shirts as jerseys today. It's the first time we've seen them wear these all season.
It's because it's blistering hot out here.
The 0-1, that one misses away. The count even 1-1, and it is a hot day. It's 86 degrees with humidity at 40% here in Irvine. Not the hottest day that a lot of these players have played in front of, but still, nevertheless, a very hot day here in Irvine. You know, Ryan Milano and I were in pregame batting practice, and we both felt like the heat really, really bad. Third pitch from Adcock misses inside, and it hits Servin, so he's headed to first. So just like in the top of the first inning, the leadoff man, he's hit by a pitch. And now for the Riptide, their leadoff man, Spencer Servin, he's on to first with a hit by pitch.
Now batting for the Riptide from Dartmouth College, right fielder number 17, Colton Freeman.
Snap to the plate is going to be Colton Freeman, the right fielder. He caught the final out in the top of the first inning on a play from right field. Saw him at the DH on that game on Friday. Today he's playing in that right field position, but now stands in with a runner on first, nobody out. Adcock nods his head a couple of times. The first pitch in to Freeman misses, 1-0 the count. Defensively for the Conejo Oaks, Zach Gregory in left field, Raul Sandoval in center field, TJ Foreman in right field. Then in the infield, Melhoff, Naviak, Smith, and Bobo round out left to right. Second pitch to Freeman misses. The count now 2-0 to Freeman. Anson Arrows, he's behind the dish catching, and Adcock, he's of course on the mound. But so far, Adcock, he's thrown 5 pitches. 2 of them have been called for balls in this at-bat, had 1 called for a ball in the last at-bat, and 1 ball hit a batter. As the 2-0, that is an off-speed pitch called for a strike inside. Freeman now has a 2-1 count.
And Freeman, he's been someone who's been very successful against the Oaks in the games that he's played against them. He wasn't as successful the last time these two teams played on 2 days ago, but the first time he reached base many times and was able to get hits, RBIs, and come across the dish where he really helped the Riptide to a 10-0 win.
Swing and a miss from Freeman. The count now 3-2. And yeah, you mentioned that first game against the Oaks. He went 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs. Also had a walk on the day and a hit by pitch. So able to reach base 4 out of the 5 times he came up in that 9-0 victory. The last time they did play, which was on Friday, where he was in the DH spot, he went 1 for 4 with a run. This time he fouls off a pitch.
Count was actually 2-2 before
yeah.
that pitch, so it is still 2-2.
I had 2-2 in my book. They put 3-2 on the board, so and I said 3-2, but I guess I had it right the first time. So we're still doing the 2-2. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Freeman. Servin on first. He's leading off a little bit. Adcock throws back to first in there safely as Servin. Bobo there with the tag. Nevertheless, we're going to do the 2-2 again. Still awaiting the 6th pitch of the at-bat is Freeman. Freeman this season batting .343 with 11 RBIs. Throw over to first again. Servin in there safely. And Freeman still awaiting the 2-2. The 2-2 pitch as the runner goes. Ball bounces in the dirt. Arrows can't get a clean dig on it. He fakes the throw to second, but in there safely is Servin. And now a runner in scoring position with nobody out for the Riptide. So the count is full, 3-2. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Freeman as he's fouled off a pitch. Servin on second. Adcock on the mound. He's set. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed from Freeman. First strikeout of the day for Adcock, and now 1 is gone with the runner still in scoring position for the Riptide.
So right there, a really good job by Cody Adcock and able to get back in the count after going down, throwing 2 strikes, and being able to, after going down 2-1 in the count, come back and have a strikeout to Colton Freeman, who has been one of the Oak killers so far this season for the Riptide.
Snap to the plate is Reed Spenrath. And going back on Freeman, that's just not an Oak killer. That's anybody's killer. He's batting .343 on the year. First pitch to Spenrath. Misses. It's 1-0. Spenrath, the first baseman today, he's batting .240 in league play, .222 overall on the year. Does have 11 RBIs, but also has 24 strikeouts. Pitch in from Adcock is called for a strike. The count even 1-1. Spenrath, he didn't play on Friday, but he did play in that game on July 7th against the Oaks. That was the 9-0 victory for the Riptide. He went 0 for 4 in that game, did have a walk, and he did score off of that walk. He also had 2 strikeouts. Pitch in to Spenrath, misses, so now the count is 2-1. Adcock so far, 13 pitches, still only has 1 out. Righty on lefty matchup. The pitch from Adcock. That one's called for a strike outside part of the plate. The count even now 2-2. And Adcock this season, man, he's been impressive. A 1.28 ERA in 3 games that he's pitched. 5 innings pitched with 2 earned runs. The first time he pitched, that was against the Saints on June 26th. And since then, he's pitched 9 innings and has not allowed a run while only having 4 hits. Swing and a miss from Spenrath, and back-to-back batters go down swinging. Adcock 2 Ks now.
Yeah, and that's where Cody Adcock has been successful all season long, is being able to get strikes, get strikeouts. And right there, both Riptide members of Freeman and Spenrath, they fall victim to it. And that's the reason why Cody Adcock was one of the members of the showcase game, just because he has been able to.
Now, Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you here in Orange County. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 the score for the Riptide. A 1-2-3 inning for the Oaks in the top of the second. Sorry for the technical delays. So far today, we've been dealing with a lot of heat. Our equipment's been overheating, and we're hoping to get things squared away right now. First pitch here in the bottom of the second misses to Emilio Rosas. The count now 1-0. In that top of the second inning, it was only 6 pitches, so you didn't miss much. A 4-pitch strikeout to Capozzi, then back-to-back 1-pitch at bats for Greg Melhoff and Raul Sandoval. Melhoff lined out to the first baseman as the second pitch from Adcock in this inning misses. 2-0 the count. Melhoff, he lined out to the first baseman, and Sandoval, he grounded out to the pitcher, who threw it to the first baseman, and that did it for the top of the second. But now here in the bottom, 2-0 the count to Rojas. And the pitch is called for a strike. So 2-1 to Rosas. Rojas this season, he's listed as a third baseman, but today he is playing third base. He's from Yorba Linda, goes to USC as he skies one high in the air towards right field. Foreman drifting over, makes the play in right. And Rojas is retired, an F9 on the 4th pitch he saw, and Adcock gets an out. So in the first inning, Adcock allowed 1 run on 22 pitches. In the first inning for the Riptide, Mikael Ashley, he allowed 0 runs on 23 pitches, and then he had a 6-pitch inning. But the first batter he faced, he had 4 pitches. So Adcock, the first batter he faces, he gets 4 pitches, and we'll see if Adcock can match him and get 6 or 7 pitches to keep pace in the pitch count. Kyle Booker now, he'll step up to the plate, the left fielder today for the Riptide. First pitch to him bounces in the dirt. We will not see a 6-pitch inning from Adcock. 1-0 now to Kyle Booker. Booker today, he's playing the left field position as mentioned. He's batting .415 in conference play and .415 overall in the year as the pitch is fouled off. Count even 1-1, and this is a matchup you may see in college baseball for years to come. Kyle Booker, he goes to the University of Tennessee. He's from Mississippi. Now, Cody Adcock, he's from Arkansas, but he goes to the University of Mississippi Ole Miss. And so an SEC versus SEC matchup right here, a batter versus the pitcher. Ole Miss on the mound, Tennessee in the box. The pitch, and Booker skies one high in the air, deep to left field. Going back as Gregory comes in now, makes the play in deep left field, and now Booker's retired. A fly out to left, back-and-back flyouts for the Riptide, and now 2 are gone. So now coming up to the plate is Efren Cervantes. He's the shortstop. Stands in to face off against Adcock. So far, back-to-back flyouts in this inning, like mentioned. Adcock had 3 strikeouts in the top of the first inning. No strikeouts here in the second. Pitch in, and it bounces in the dirt. 1-0 the count to Cervantes. Cervantes this season, he's batting .184 in conference play, .196 overall in the year. Young man that goes to University of Nebraska, Lincoln. Pitch into Cervantes. That Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano, top of the third inning. JT Naviak at the plate, and the first pitch to him, he had to lean backwards as it almost hit him. Does not. 1-0 the count. Naviak today, he's in the 9-hole spot. He's playing shortstop, a reliable shortstop he is, as he's consistently in the lineup for the Oaks. But Naviak this season, he's batting .179, although as of late he's been swinging the bat a little bit better. Second pitch in, misses, so now 2-0 the count. Ashley so far, last inning he had a 1-2-3 inning, only 6 pitches in that inning. So far 2 balls in this inning, up to 31 pitches overall. Pitch into Naviak. That misses again inside, so now 3-0 the count to Naviak. So, nobody on, nobody out. Naviak leading off, trying to flip the lineup as Grant Smith, the leadoff hitter's on deck. The 3-0 pitch, that one misses. Naviak drops the bat. The catcher, Penso, couldn't believe it. Nevertheless, Naviak over to first on a 4-pitch walk to start here in the third. And Grant Smith, the hottest hitter for the Oaks, he's up at the plate. That was Naviak's 8th walk of the year. His on-base percentage just under 300 at 297, so that'll improve here today with the leadoff walk. First pitch to Grant Smith, high and inside. Saw Naviak have a couple of pitches like that. 1-0 the count, so 5 straight balls to start this inning from Ashley. And we mentioned it in the first inning. Ashley, he had 17 walks and only 9 innings pitched entering this game. Right now, he's thrown 2 walks in the first 2 innings that he's thrown. Naviak on first, 1-0 the count to Grant Smith. Grant Smith, he's up for the second time today. He's hit by a pitch in the first as they throw back to first. Naviak in there safely. Throw almost got away from Spenrath. Does not. We're still awaiting the 1-0 to Grant Smith. So Grant Smith, he was hit by a pitch on the fourth pitch he saw. He had a 1-2 count. He was behind it. And a fielder's choice, as this time it's bobbled by Cervantes as Smith hit it to the shortstop in safely at second as Naviak over to first is Grant Smith, and the first two runners are on for the Oaks after 3 straight outs in the second. It's now Brendan Bobo, the first baseman. He steps up into the plate. The first time he came up, he walked on the 6th pitch that he saw. It was a full count. He was later out at second after a fielder's choice by Zach Gregory. Gregory, he's on deck. But Naviak at second, Grant Smith on first, and Brendan Bobo at the plate. As Bobo shows bunt, pulls back. It's called for a strike. 0-1 now to Brendan Bobo. Mentioned it the first time that Bobo came up to the plate. He had an impressive turnaround in the last couple of weeks. He had 4 singles, or 4 times reaching base on the against the Riptide on Friday, 3 singles and a walk as he swings and misses. The count now 0-2 to Bobo. So a 3 for 4 day Friday. So far today, he's 0 for 0 with the walk. Looking to raise his on-base percentage or batting average a little bit here. The 0-2, Bobo skies it in the air, in the infield. Cervantes looking for it, finds it, is tracking it in the sun at the last minute. Found it, gets the out, and Bobo's retired on a fly out to the shortstop. So now, with 1 out, Zach Gregory, the 3-hole hitter, he steps up to the plate. Still, JT Naviak at second, Grant Smith at first. Apologize for the technical difficulties that we've been having. We're trying to figure things out. The sun here in Irvine hasn't been great to us as our equipment's been overheating a ton. But runners go. Smith, a hit-and-run situation. He lines it into right field. Coming around to score is Naviak. Heading over to third and stopping there is Smith. A single for Zach Gregory. And the Oaks, they tie it. It's 1-1. What a play by Gregory on the hit and run. Naviak was taken off. The liner got down. He came around to score. Smith headed to third. And now Gregory at first with a single with 1 out. And now Anson Arrow steps up to the plate with runners on the corner. So Anson Arrows takes the first pitch he sees, misses away. Count now 1-0. Arrows, the first time he came up to the plate, he had a 1-2 count before looking at the fourth pitch. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano here in the third, bottom of the third inning. First pitch to Davis Diaz misses 1-0, and we're still apologizing. There's been a lot of technical difficulties that we've been dealing with. The video, it's been freezing a lot. We're hoping the audio's been working, but if you are listening, the Conejo Oaks, they now lead 2-1. Second pitch to Diaz misses 2-0 now. The Conejo Oaks in the top of the third inning, they scored 2 runs after an RBI single on a hit and run with Zach Gregory. That plated JT Naviak, and then Grant Smith advanced to third. He later scored off of a sac fly by Anson Arrows. The 2-0 pitch from Adcock, that's at the knees, called for a strike. 2-1 now to Davis Diaz. Davis Diaz, he got a nod at the showcase game in the CCL. He's the second baseman for the Riptide. It's listed as a shortstop, though. He lines one into left field, and he gets on with a single to start here in the third. Davis Diaz, that's his 12th single of the year, his 15th hit overall as he heads to first, and the Riptide, they have their leadoff man aboard for the second time today. And like I said, we apologize for the issues. We know it's freezing, which I think is a little ironic because our stuff is overheating.
Yeah, we wish it were freezing. We wish it were frozen. We're actually trying to shovel ice from the concession stand here onto the computer to try to...
Adcock now up to 4 after the last at bat. Throw back to first, and there safely is Diaz. Throw back from Bobo, a little high, but great jump from Adcock. Still awaiting the 1-0 is Freeman. The 1-0 pitch misses. The throw over to first, and Arrows almost got Diaz on the back pick. Bobo was there with the tag. In there safely was Diaz, though, on the back slide. The count now 2-0. Freeman, he's batting .343 on the season with an on-base percentage of .416. First time he played the Oaks, we mentioned it, the 4 RBIs and reaching base 4 different times. Pitch into Freeman, that one misses low. The count now 3-0 to Freeman, and it's a different look for Freeman. The first time he came up, he struck out, and now has a 3-0 count with a runner on first. Adcock nods his head a couple of times. Now the 3-0 pitch. This one's lifted high in the air from Freeman. He swings on the 3-0 pitch, but lifts it in the infield. Naviak under it. He makes the play at shortstop, and a fly out to the 6th place in the outfield, and now 2 are gone. So back-to-back outs from Adcock after he allowed a leadoff single to Davis Diaz. A strikeout and now a fly out, and Reed Spenrath steps up to the plate with 2 outs, and still Diaz on first after the single. Spenrath, the first baseman, he's had some action on the defensive side. He had a line out and a ground out towards him in the second inning. Pitch in from Adcock called for a strike, 0-1 to Spenrath. Batting-wise for Spenrath, he had a 2-2 count the first time he was up. That was in the first. He struck out swinging. Was the second victim of Adcock. 0-1 the count, 2 outs. And now Adcock's going to step off the mound. We'll reset to Spenrath. Spenrath, originally from El Campo, Texas, as the pitch into him misses, so now the count's even 1-1. Still plays his college ball out in Texas at Texas Christian University, TCU. They have a historically great baseball program, although their baseball coach is headed over to Aggieland. He's headed there as Texas A&M was able to hire him. So he'll have a new coach over there in Fort Worth. This season, though, batting .221 with 24 naked 25 strikeouts on the year after